Hey everyone, here's a really quick demo showing how I storyboard using Photoshop. I don't use the timeline or layer comps to storyboard using this method because I generally like having nice clean Photoshop files for my story panels, and both those methods tend to make the files and layer management like really bloated and overcomplicated. So what I do instead is what I call the tab method, which basically means I open all my working panels up in Photoshop as tabs and then flip back and forth through them using default hotkeys. So that probably doesn't make much sense right now, but I'll go into way more detail in later videos about what I'm doing and how to actually do it. For now, though, I just want to do a quick 2 or 3 minute demo of how fast I can storyboard using this method. So this is all in real time, and in 2 or 3 minutes, I'll have a pretty decent ball bounce. And yeah, this is a little closer to animation keyframes than storyboards, but you'll get the idea either way. So the first thing I wanted to point out is that I'm using a ton of hotkeys. I think no matter what you do, if you're going to work digitally and you want to work fast, besides getting better at drawing, hotkeys are like essential to speeding up your workflow and just maximizing efficiency. And already, if you look at the top where all the tabs are, you can see how this works. All the panels I'm working with are opened up in Photoshop as tabs, and all I have to do to flip through them is use the default hotkeys. And these hotkeys are the same for both Windows and Mac. So you just press Control-Tab to flip forward through the panels and Control-Shift-Tab to flip backwards. Additionally, on Mac, you also have an extra option for the hotkeys, which is actually the one I use, and that's Command-tilde to go forwards or Command-Shift-tilde to go backwards. So let me break down exactly what I'm doing every time I make a new panel. First, I duplicate the image, then I select the current drawing layer, I onion skin it by turning its opacity down to 12%, and then I make a new layer that I'm going to use for this panel's drawing. Once I see it's basically working well enough, I delete the old onion skin layer and repeat the whole process for the next panel. So once again, I'll go into way more detail in later videos about all of that, but just so you kind of know what you're looking at as you're watching this. And by the way, I have no idea why I decided to make the ball sentient after it bounces. Also, by the way, I don't usually work this fast. This is me at like top speed. I'm usually way more leisurely about everything. Although I definitely have worked this fast, especially if a deadline is coming up quick and I need to just rough out dozens and dozens of panels as quickly as possible. All right, that's probably good enough. So what I'm going to do next is save out all of these and rearrange them and rename them using Bridge. I usually plan ahead a little more when I'm naming all of those new panels, but you can see that this way totally works as well. Here you can see I'm just jamming on the keyboard over and over again, just pressing Control-S, Control-Tab, Control-S, Control-Tab over and over. I'm not worrying about typing out their proper file names at this point. I'm going to deal with all that in Bridge. And all told, it takes about 15 seconds to do everything. Alternatively, if you don't like the repetition of saving like that, you can go up to File, then Scripts, then Image Processor, select Use Open Images, then select the folder you want to save them in, then select PSDs. Make sure everything else is unchecked and press Run. That'll save all of your open files in a nice little folder for you. Just close them all. And here they are. All right, so once I'm done saving them all, I open up Bridge at the folder they're saved in. And the first thing I need to do is make sure they're sorted properly. Because of the slightly weird file names, I have to rearrange them just a little bit. But once I'm done doing that, all I have to do is select all, go to Batch Rename, and then using this particular file naming convention, which I'll explain in a later video, I can rename them exactly as I need to, and all of it's super fast. So that's basically it for the quick overview. Check out the next videos to see exactly how I'm doing everything here.